Love the title. There we go. See, hey, you guys know what's up, bro. I'm I'm at least I'm honest. You know what I mean? I'm glad that we all can agree that it sucks. You know what else sucks? Losing. Dude, losing's worse than Reg G, man. New choice syndrome wore off. What if we never got it, bro? This is my sixth like restricted rodeo, man. Like it was never new toy syndrome. I don't know. Right? I don't know. This is my thoughts. Like I'm someone who's really early to call out faults in formats, I think. And that's just because like usually when I build my teams, I build these teams to like compete at like high level events for the most part. Like I'm always thinking like what I would do at like big events. And like usually I'm like 2 or 3 steps ahead. I'm usually like a month or 2 ahead of where like most people are that are just like goofing around because like I can see the easy things that are like optimal and suboptimal, right? And so like I kind of just cut the fat and go right to like what's optimal, what's like the best way to play the format for the most part. And I don't know, I've had a pretty good track record in saying like this format's going to be super stale. This format's going to be stale in XYZ time and this format's going to be like so stale. You expecting Reg G to be no Terra? No, they gotta do their full like world tour. So like we're gonna have like Reg G's this, Reg H is gonna be probably double restricted, then something else, and then like a no Terra format. I actually think this is the first time I think double restricted would be better than single restricted. Sorry, not the first time. Story time. You guys want story time? Oh man, you guys want some VGC history story time? Yes, no, maybe so. I'm gonna tell you anyways. Right. The worst format of Pokemon we have ever had. Ever. In my opinion. Right? The worst format of Pokemon we've ever had. Some might say it was VGC 2016. That was the year Wolf won Worlds. We had that format for a whole year. Double restricted primals out the wazoo, Big Six, Smeargle, Dark Void. That was a bad format, right? But there were things that you could do in that format to actually combat some of those tools. It just became a very, very restricting format. You had to run like a Chestoberry, like, and a Lumberry, and like, you know, something else that would help you not lose to Smeargle. It was like really, really bad. So I think the worst format, a format that had actually got me to quit playing VGC. If you go back and watch my channel, some of you guys might know what this is. VGC 2019 Sun Series. 2019 Sun Series. So that was the first year that we broke it up into like regulations. So from like August to December or August to November, we had Sun Series, which was a restricted format in 2019. No Z moves, no megas, no nothing like that. But yeah, like that was I think the worst format ever. Because I made a video about it. What's the video? Where's that video? I should go find it, bro. Hold on. Let me go find this video. I think the video's like I can't play this game anymore. Who remembers that video? Does anyone remember it? Sun Series was nuts. I made a video saying like I can't play this format anymore. I'm taking a break. And so what I did, I still uploaded daily content. I played a lot of singles. I think I played like a lot of Let's Go. I think I played like a lot of just like other competitive Pokemon stuff. And I said like fuck VGC, right, for that format, because that format and this format are very similar in that every single game devolves into, did you bring a restricted that checks they're restricted? Yes, no, maybe so? Get fucked. And I feel like that plus Terra, this format's just not fun. I even played in a tournament last night. I started 3-0, and then I just stopped playing. And I beat like really, really good players in the tournament. I killed it. I was doing amazing. I recorded it. It'll go up on YouTube tomorrow, but like, that doesn't mean that it was like necessarily like fun or like worth the time investment to do it. I just feel like every single battle devolves into like rolling the dice and hopefully you get a good matchup. Yeah, Torn Ogre was like so dumb in that format. It was really, 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 really dumb. But anyways, yeah. Reg F was your official break period. It's done wonders for my mental health. I'm beginning to wonder how stale Reg G is going to be. There may be top 8 teams max. No, I feel like you could use any restricted, but the problem isn't... the restricteds will change, and like there'll be like 4 months that go with all of them, and you're just rolling the dice hoping that like, okay, all right, no Kyurem, you know, like roll the dice. Okay, I really hope I fight 3 Shadow Riders tomorrow, you know, like that's not competitive. That's not competitive. And I don't know, I'm not Mr. Competitive, you know, chairman of the board over here, but like, I'd like to have some input on the game other than just hoping that my opponent didn't bring, you know, that's like rolling up to like a basketball tournament and hoping all my opponents are short. That's not an indicator of your skill, you know? And so I don't like it, you know? It's not fun. Right? I wasn't even gonna stream VGC today. I was thinking about streaming something else. I was gonna stream like a Nuzlocke or something. I'll play VGC. But yeah, I don't know, man. Because we have Indy in like 2 weeks. And like everyone wants my opinion. I will actually say, this is the worst take ever, right? So Neil's channel's gone. And everyone that used him for a resource to like learn things needs somewhere to go. And I was like, dude, no one's making daily content. And I'm the only one making daily content. And like, oh my gosh, I'm getting like flooded with people that have like, they need answers. Yeah, like I got 3 DMs this morning asking me for like Miraidon Calcs, Miraidon teams, and what I would pair with Miraidon. 3 separate DMs before I woke up this morning and just saw those, right? And bro, I don't even have Miraidon. I'm playing Scarlet. So it's like, how I can't help you, you know? Like, maybe I could, maybe I should, you know? But I just want to thank you for awesome content. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. You know, I probably could get a Miraidon if I felt like it. I could go buy Scarlet, or I can go buy Violet, beat the game, unlock all the legendaries. The way I tend to do things is if there's a Pokemon I really want to use, I'll test with it like a little bit and like some calcs, and then maybe I'll throw a team together on Showdown if I really want to, and then if I want to use that team in an event, I'll borrow one. I'm fortunate to be able to borrow one for tournaments from people I think are trustworthy, but I don't really... I probably should just suck it up. Like, not genning things makes the game hard in restricted formats. I'm sure you guys know, as players that are playing, like, you know, in all the other formats, you can kind of just be like, I'm going to use my Pokemon. And, like, we can make a brand new team every day, and it can be awesome, and you can breed it, and you can do all that stuff. But, like, reinventing the wheel, I'm just thinking, we have this format for, like, 5 months. It's not even out yet. We have this format, it's not, like, this month, and then, like, 4 months, right? And the thought of having to play 5 brand new teams a week for 5 months just seems so hopeless. Cause like, bro, I don't even have half the restricteds, right? I got 1 Terapagos. I have 2 Zacians. Let's fucking go, right? Case in point. Do you know how like awkward it is to like create rentals for like people to help people when I only have 1 Ogerpon, 1 Shimpow, 1 Chiyu? That's already really hard. I have like one of each Calyrex and then 1 of each Shadow Rider Glastrier, right? The thought of having to like redo my EVs every day, feel like it's Reg F 2.0, honestly. I feel like we'll be seeing the same Pokemon that we see in Reg F with a restricted. But that's not the issue, I think. Right? If that's what it was, that'd be fine. Because like Reg F was fine. The issue is if I'm playing the game and I have a board state that has Palkia and Zapdos on the board. I have Palkia and I have Zapdos, right? If I can use this Zapdos to take an attack from your non-restricted and not die, so I'm basically effectively fake outing. I'm taking away one of your restricted Pokemon's turns with my non-restricted, and I can use my Palkia to then KO your non-restricted, right? So what I've effectively done is siphoned away a little bit of the power creep that your restricted brings to the table, right? So if we're thinking about optimizing the game, that's a really like good way to measure it. How can you play the game to take away the effectiveness of their restricted, right? Or let's say like an even better turn would be something like my Zapdos doesn't die and my restricted KOs your restricted. That's why we see an abundance of like fake outs and damage mitigation in these restricted formats, because if you can use like an Incineroar, which is a non-restricted, to fake out a restricted, you're trading one for like, you're basically stopping their restricted from exuding that pressure and unlocking your restricted's ability to do that, right? That's how Pokemon works like in inherent like base terms, but when we take it to a restricted format, it gets out of control. So the hard part is it's really hard to measure the value of that in this format, because in any other format, there were metrics, because like Dynamax would only last for 3 turns. You know, there were Megas, there were Z-moves, there was actual like numbers you could put into place to say like this is this much value to do this turn versus this turn versus this turn. You're unlocking this many different win cons, you're locking out this many potential types of losses. In this format, it's really hard to gauge that, because like the problem with like locking up these losses is like a lot of the restricted Pokemons had very specific weaknesses that now they can move around and use, and other Pokemon can Trastalize. I think Trastalize. Yeah, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate it, yo. Appreciate it. Well, we're still trying to go to Indy. We got the sub goal down there. I appreciate it, yo. Thank you. 6 months. You got the Metapod squad. I think Terra changes it for the worse. I think Terra changes it for the worse, in that like there's so many different things Terra can do and be used as a get out of jail free card that let's take a back look at Dynamax. What you used to want to do is you used to want to like play passive for like 1 turn, go into like a really safe play, force your opponents to Dynamax, and then stagger your Dynamax so you'd have an advantage after. If you stagger a Terra, you don't get the same result because Terra's permanent, right? And if I stagger Terra, right, let's say I force you to Terra, and then like you don't really get anything out of your turn, and then like I punish you with my own Terra, that would be great. But the problem is when they do that Terra play, they're using their restricted or their non-restricted, which is like probably a legendary like a Landorus or something big, to put pressure on my restricted, and then using their actual restricted or their support partner to set up board pressure. So you actually get punished for like respecting normal play, and you could say, well, that's a read, they outplayed you, and you might be right? You might be right. It's a risky play, but like that's the thing, is like if every single game is like, see, that's a is it gonna work? Do I win on the first turn, or are we actually playing a game? You know, and it's like I don't necessarily know how I feel about that. I don't, and so like I said, it might be an outplay, it might be risky, might not be risky, but I don't. It's hard to place value on the effectiveness of defensive play in these formats without playing full stall. Do you guys understand? Am I like way out here? I played Fede Campo VGC in a tournament yesterday. I don't know if you know who that is. Really good player. And I won. I won the game. Did he make a single mistake? He did not make a single mistake. Did he have a good matchup? He did have a good matchup. Did I win because I went, ah. Yeah, I did. You know? So, and that doesn't make me better. And that doesn't make me a better player. And I actually think if I were to play like 5 months of that, like I would get worse at the game. Right? And I just don't feel like people that want to get good at the game should play the game that way. Reg G does suck. See? And by the way, when I beat him, he like went on his stream and like reviewed the VOD and just like was really pissed for like 5-10 minutes. See, what about Weezing? I think Weezing's a band-aid, right? Winning is not the metric for growth, right? Weezing is not the metric for growth. Or winning is not the metric for growth. I could win, but that doesn't make me better, right? What does it do to Cali? Weezing doesn't do anything to Cali. Like, you could play Weezing Cali or like Zacian, Weezing Cali, Goth, like Ditto, all these really oppressive mons that just say the game's over in 2 turns. But like, you're not getting better. And I guess that matters is like, do you care about getting better? Do you just want to win? I don't know. It's weird that like the format's not even out yet and we have all these things happening. And I just haven't really seen, you know, we did some viewer battles yesterday because I was testing some stuff. And we did just a bunch of ladder yesterday. I played in a tournament yesterday. And I think, like, in a lot of those losses are just like, well, the team that I made has no matchup here. Is that my fault for team building that? Maybe to some extent. But, like, you could see on the reverse side, like, the teams that I made. So, yesterday I was using Kyogre not Kyogre. I did use a Kyogre team yesterday. Yesterday I used a Palkia team for some viewer battles. And I lost 3 viewer battles to 2 Terapagos teams and then one other team that was also full balance like Amoonguss. So that means Palkia had a bad matchup into balance. But my Palkia team crushes every hyper offensive team in there, right? So when I built that Palkia team, I'm going, okay, hyper offense, you know? Or I'm going like Groudon, Kyogre, Weather. So like let's just say there's 20 restricteds. I don't know how many there are. My Palkia team would have like a good matchup against like 14 of them, and absolutely no matchup against those last 6. What did I fight in 3 of my viewer battles? 3 of those 6, right? Does that make me a bad team builder? Maybe. Does it make me a bad player? Maybe. Is there something I could have done differently when preparing my team or playing those teams? Maybe, but we don't know what that is yet. And I don't think that there actually is something you can do about that. No, that's the thing is like you're saying knowing how to read board state is how you get better. But I'm telling you right now, it doesn't matter how much you read board state. Your restricteds can't beat their restricteds if you have the bad matchup. Maybe you can crit, you can get lucky, but that's rolling the dice again, you know? Right, and so like I don't necessarily know. Do you think double restrict would help? I do think it would. I think it would create a little bit more flowcharts where you can use other restricteds to cover up for these things. So like 2 restricteds plus like a Terra could be more balanced. For example, like in 2019, Ultra Series was like way better than Sun Series. Yeah, you can't build a team that is good versus everything with unrestricted. It's not like actually possible. It's not, and. Yeah, the entire match comes rock, paper, scissors. That's just how I feel about it. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I have, like, a couple teams that are in my head, like, in the back. Like, this is what I might use if I were to play a tournament. But, like, there's no safe way to do it. There's no safe way to dictate play in every matchup. And I also just feel like I'm not really attached to any of the restricteds. There's less opportunity to outplay with restricted. Some matchups aren't 90% decided. Yeah. Indy's winner. No, Indy's winner. Like, Wolf will just win Indy. It's fine. I don't care. You know? Like, I think that, like, when you get to that level, you can outplay. Like, when you're, like, regional winning level, you're built different. You can brute force your way through those bad matchups. But I'm just saying for, like, in general, you know, for us normal people, it's one of those things that it's just like, I don't know, man. It seems pretty not worth the effort to give a fuck. Sometimes. You know? That's just how I feel. Like, I don't know. I don't want to play a 40-turn game with Incineroar, Terapagos, Rillaboom for 9 rounds on day 1 and then like 9 more. Like, I don't want to play Pokemon for like 40 hours. You know? What do you think keeps you from being regional winning? I go positive at every single regional I go to. I've never gone neutral or negative. I went 6-3 at the last regional, and I missed like a fucking shit ton of moves. This rock, paper, scissors rewards folks who can accurately predict the meta. On ladder, that's an entirely different thing. Yeah, that's the thing. And so it's like, you know, I think ladder should be more representative of what they want tournaments to be. But yeah, as it comes to how I go at regionals, you know, I've top cut a few regionals, and that's more than like 99%. I have more regional top cuts than 99% of the player base. So, you know, I'm doing something right, you know. You know, I've won mid-seasons, I've won premier challenges. So I can win. It's just like, you know, You just classified yourself as normal versus the regional winning level, and I think that you got what it takes. Nah, I don't think so. Because, like, the people that are winning... So if you take a look at all the people who won regionals this year, Wolf 1-2, Rally Factura, James Evans, Toller, Alex Underhill, those are people who are, like, the best players in the world. And, like, there's a difference between, like, the world level and, like, the regional level, right? Because the regional levels are, like, people in the state live here. Like, we're going to go to Indy next week, in 2 weeks. We're going to find a lot of people who are from, like, the Midwest, right? And then, like, obviously, these good players are still there. But, like, your first 3 or 4 rounds are going to be, like, local-ish people. And so the difference is, like, most players at the regional level are good. But, like, that regional top 8 is, like... They're just built different, you know? Players like Joe, you know, players like Zhang, Wolf, those guys are just really, really good. Like, they're not normal people, guys. Like, their brains for this game work way differently. Gio also won a regional. Like, their brains are built different. Yeah, I like singles right now. What's a mid-season and a Premier Challenge? Oh, they're more local events. But yeah, I'll be in Indy. And, like, I'll play, but, like, I just don't know. I just don't... You were asking, like, what's the thing that keeps me from being regional winning? Like, I don't want to play 40 hours of Mons in a weekend. Like, that's literally it. Like, I don't really want to win the regional, but I'll go, you know. I'll play some games. I'll have a good time. It's just not, it's not my, I don't have that burning desire to, you know, be the champion like everyone else does. Last place at UIC because matchups, that honestly is a surprising thing. Well, I mean, it happens, you know. A lot of the better teams will crop up soon. Well, that's the thing is it's like, if you're someone that waits for a team to show up, and then you take that team, I don't think that that's how you get better as, like, a Pokemon player. I know it sounds super cringe, right? But, like, anyone can take a team and use it. Like, so if you are waiting for, like, someone to win a regional, like, let's say Joe wins a regional, and you take Joe's team, and then, like, you're in a ladder with Joe's team, like, you're always going to be, like, what Joe dictated to be good back when he won that tournament. You're not going to be figuring out for yourself what your own personal playstyle is. It's really, really hard to have, like, a personal playstyle in a restricted format. Yeah, you were burned out by round 5. That's how it goes. Yeah, like, it is just really, really hard. Like, it's rough. Like, there's, how do I word this? So, there's, like, older fighting games that used to have, like, a lot of, like, really cool and fun mechanics. And then when they came out with, like, newer fighting games, like, this is a case in point. So, it's, like, in Melee, right? There's a bunch of, like, advanced techniques, and you can watch, like, Mango play, or you can watch, like, you know, Zane play, or all these other really, really good player Armada play, and you know that you're watching them play. But then, like, when, like, Brawl came out, and, like, the game is just, like, a nerfed version, where, like, a lot of the advanced techniques are out, it's really hard to have, like, an own unique play style when you can't, like, dictate play with the things that made, like, you strong in previous iterations of the game. And I feel like restricted formats are a lot like that. It's really hard for me, whose, like, favorite moves in the game are things like Encore, things like those really, like, niche moves, Copycat, you know, all those really weird, Fling, for example, all those things, it's really, really hard to make work when you're just getting your ass shoved in by restricteds. It's really hard. Yeah, they didn't give us a lunch break, yeah. And so, like, you're there from, like, 6 in the morning till, like, 7, 8 at night with no break, you know? 2 days in a row. It's, like, too much Mons. The fact that I get points at these regionals is, like, super, super nutty. All things considered, you know? But yeah, I think I've gotten points from, like, every regional but one this season. And that's better. That's better than all these other people that are getting, like, day 2s. Like, I don't know. Would you rather be someone that goes, like, 6-3 at every regional at 1, or someone that goes, like, 7, day 2 in 2 of them, but then, like, 4-4 or, like, 4-5 or, like, 5-4 in the others? Like, I'd rather be the guy that goes, like, 6-3 every single time that, like, just needs to win one more to get to his 7-2s, you know? Joe's bring Eternatus. Eternatus is actually a really usable mon, I think. Pressure is underrated in this format. Yeah, 6-3 is good. Yeah, they don't give you a lunch break. They don't always give lunch breaks anymore. Like it changes, you know. Sometimes they give lunch breaks, sometimes they don't. It's up to the people in charge. Yeah, Eternatus, I actually think like Eternatus with like Spite Dusclops, Pressure Dusclops is really good. Pressure doubles the amount of power points that a move uses. So like let's say for example you're playing against like Calyrex and they go like, well, they're gonna go Glacial Lance, maybe you Terra, maybe you go like Grass Terra, not Grass, that's still super effective. Like a neutral Terra. Psychic, just go Psychic, you just Psychic Terra. So Glacial Lance hits you, you're an Eternatus, so you're fine. And it's going to take an extra, it's going to take 2 power points. And then your Dusclops spites it, so it takes 2 more. All you have to do is take 1 more, and then they're out of Glacial Lances, and then their Calyrex doesn't work, right? I played in a big online tournament yesterday, and it was full of people using Cali Ice. That mon is so broken. See, I don't think that mon is, like, that broken. I've thought about using TR myself, and I was like, I wouldn't let myself lose to that, you know? Just my opinion. So, I don't know. It seems like too good to be true. Like, I feel like the mon... I don't have that, like there's not a single one of the restricted that I'm like, yo, I need to make this work. I don't know. I made my Zekrom team. I made my Reshiram team. I got my ideas that I wanted to get out on paper, and I was like, this format's fine.